continue with the adding and subtracting fractions of non-common denominators. First, looking at question number 1, I noticed we have a mixed number. There's a whole number and a fraction. Let me change those to improper fractions. So the first one, let me copy the 7 at the bottom, and on the top, I'm going to have 33. And the way I came out with the 33 is I multiply the 4 times 7, and then I added it to the 5 on top. So in the second fraction, let me copy the 7 at the bottom, and on the top, I'm going to have 29. And once again, I multiply 4 times 7, and I added it to the top. For the first two questions, 1 and 2, I noticed that the denominator is the same. So just copy. Copy the 7. For the top, how much is 33 minus 29? 4. The bigger numbers at the bottom, so we're good. Going to leave it as 4 over 7. Looking at question number 2, let me copy the 6 at the bottom. For the top, I'm thinking I'm going to go 3 times 8 plus 5, so I get 23. For the second fraction, let me copy the 6 at the bottom. What do I have on top? 13. Common denominator, so let me just copy the 6. How much is 23 minus 13? 10. The bigger numbers on top, so we do have to divide. 10 divided by 6. 6 goes into 10 one time. My remainder is 4. But my fraction 4 over 6, let me simplify that to 2 over 3. Right? If there are any fractions, make sure you simplify it. So when they're the same denominator, it's easy. Like questions 1 and 2. But now, let me take a look at numbers 3 and 4 when they're not. First, let me change that to improper fractions. On the first one, I write an 8 at the bottom, and on the top, I write 29. On the second fraction, I write a 3 at the bottom. What do I write on top? 11. Right? The denominator is not the same, so I have to make them the same. Which one's a number that 8 and 3 both go into? 24. For the first fraction, how many times does 8 go into 24? 3. So let's multiply the top by 3. That's what, 87? The second fraction, how many times does 3 go into 24? 8 times, so let's multiply the top by 8. 88. Copy the 24 from the bottom. How much is 87 plus 88? 175. Bigger numbers on top, so we have to divide. 175 divided by 24. How many times does 24 go into 175? 7. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 2 is 14 plus 2 is 16. How much is 175 minus 168? 7. So my fraction would be 7 over 24. So again, we have mixed numbers. Change them to improper. Then get common denominators. And if the bigger numbers on top, we have to divide. We have to change it back to a mixed number. Looking at question number 4, the first fraction, let me just copy 2 over 3. And I'm not doing anything to the first fraction. The second fraction, let me put a 7 at the bottom. What do I have on top? 15. So not common denominator. Which one's the smallest number that both 3 and 7 go into? 21. On the first fraction, how many times does 3 go into 21? 7. So let's multiply the top by 7. On the second fraction, how many times does 7 go into 21? 3. Let's multiply the top by 3. So copy the 21. How much is 14 plus 45? 59. Bigger numbers on top, so we do have to divide. How many times does 21 go into 59? 2 times. We get 42. When we subtract this, what do we get? 17. Yeah. So we're going to have 17 over 21. I know for the worksheet, we have some big numbers, and just like I mentioned yesterday, for the work, for the practice, we'll go big. Like it's your practice. Remember, once I'm grading the worksheets, I'm grading them effort, and I said at the very beginning of the year, I said it as a joke, but I meant it. If you do it and you're going 2 plus 2, you get 5, we know it's wrong, but I see you're trying, you're working, I'll give you credit. I'll go with you. 2 plus 2 is 5 for you. But just give it a try. What I'm saying on this one is I grade you guys back. So try it. On the quizzes and tests, then I go for the right answer. Quizzes and tests, but I go with smaller numbers. I said big numbers are on the worksheet. Smaller numbers are on the quizzes and tests. So the hard work is on your practice. Now tomorrow there will be 20 questions on the quiz. 10 of them have common denominators. So it shouldn't be that hard. And then 10 of them don't have common denominators, like this. But I'm going to use low numbers. Alright, any questions? 12? Alright, let's take a look at number 12. Denominator is the same, so that's cool. We're going to just copy the 6. For the top, how much is 5 minus 5? 0. When we have a 0 on the top, 0 divided by anything, it's 0. Alright, any other questions? Looking at number 6, first let me change this to improper. So the first fraction I'm just going to write 3 over 5. The second fraction, let me copy the 7 at the bottom. For the top, remember we'll go 3 times 7 plus 6. That's 27. So I need to make them common denominators. Which one's a number? The both 5 and 7 go into 35. So let's make both of these 35. How many times does 5 go into 35? 7. So let's multiply the top by 7. How many times does 7 go into 35? 5. Multiply that by 5. So copy the denominator. On the top, how much is 21 plus 135? 156. Bigger numbers on top, so we have to divide. As soon as this thing comes back, it's processing. There you go. Okay, so 156 divided by 35. How many times does 35 go into 156? 4. 4 times 35 is 140. How much is 156 minus 140? 16. So my fraction is 16 over 35. Any other questions? I know in your worksheet towards the end you have 3 fractions. You guys have to add 3 fractions. That would be get common denominators for all 3 and then add them all. For the quiz, I'm only going to keep it at 2 fractions per question. And I said on the practice we have 3 fractions, on the quiz 3 fractions. Once again, any questions?